Hey, hi, this is Yogen from Fast Coding School, and very good evening to all of you in the California region. And here in India, this is morning actually. Uh, so, uh, so welcome again. And today we are at day two, right? So today we are at day two, and the agenda for today's session that we are going to understand what is a control flow in Python. So we'll understand more on this, that how you can use conditional statements like if, else, and elif. And after this, we'll understand the looping part as well, that how you can, execute a set of statements repeatedly or multiple times using a loop mechanism. So we'll understand two loops here. The first is while loop. That would be very similar to other programming languages like C programming, Java, or C++. And for is a little different. We call that loop as for each loop. So these are the two main agendas that we are going to discuss today. And obviously we'll see hands-on activities, so we'll understand all of these concepts to the practical approach only. I hope everybody is okay with my audio and my screen visibility. Please confirm. Okay, Bharti saying yes, Lalit saying okay, Harsh, yeah, thank you, Preeti. So now we are again moving to our cloud-based environment where we are going to write our Python code, and that's what we were doing yesterday. And this is RAPL, and right now I'm in my Firefox browser. So now all of these recorded sessions are also available on the YouTube. So we have been sending you the links over email and WhatsApp if you are available on the WhatsApp. But we are also sending the links on the email as well. So let's start for today. First, we'll understand about control flow. So let me start here. See, let's say we want to declare a variable, and the variable name is marks. So marks is equal to, and I assign some hard coded value as of now for this. So let's say I assign 40 to this. So this is a variable with the name. So we call object as well in Python. So this is an object with the name marks, whose initial value is 40, because 40 is the integer value. So obviously the type of this variable would be integer. So you can check with a type method as well, where you say I want to know this, what is the type of variable marks. So here you see on the console that you get the output. Then it's saying that it's a object of class integer. Now let's say based on the marks, I want to print a message to the user whether he or she is pass or whether he or she is fail, let's say. So how I can take this decision? So I need to check, right, whether marks are greater than a certain value. So let's say minimum passing marks are, for example, minimum passing marks are 33, for example, right? So these are the minimum passing marks. So a student has to at least score this to pass the exam. So how I can check this? So for that purpose, I use a keyword called if, and after that I'm using parenthesis. In that I need to check for a condition. So what can be the condition? And to express that condition, you should have expression that marks, which is my a recently declared variable there, and I'm just checking marks greater than equal to 33. So this is my condition. And after this condition, I'm going for a colon. You can see that. And after the colon, I'm hitting the enter button. And as soon as I enter the, I hit the enter button, you can see there is a change in the indentation, right? You can see this, we have two spaces here. So my indentation got changed. By default, it was supposed to be here, but now in this scenario, it is here, right? And whatever I write here, that would be the part of if condition. That means if this condition becomes true, right? If this condition evaluates to true, whatever we write here, whatever the masses we want to print, that would be executed. So let's say I say print and I say pass, right? So that is there. So this is my first statement, which is coming under if condition. If this condition becomes true, this would be executed. Okay, let me press the enter again, and you can see my indentation is still there, right? So I can write one more statement if I want. So let's see, I want to write one more message that can be congrats, for example, right? So this is this. And now you can see that if I execute this, right? So if this condition is true, these two statements would be executed because now they are falling under this block, if block, right? And indentation is the kind of an indicator that are these statements part of the if condition or not. If they have a proper indentation, so they are under if condition. So let's execute this, what we get in the output. So as of now, the marks are 40. So obviously this condition will become true because minimum is 33. So this condition will evaluate to true. And how we can check whether it will evaluate to true or false? Maybe we can check this condition on the console here itself, marks, and I'm just saying greater than or equal to 33, right? So you can see this evaluates to true because marks are, as of now, they are 40. Can you see this? 40, right? So this will evaluate to true, and obviously we're going to execute these two statements, and see here, we are running it. And here you see the output, the pass and congrats. Now I make a change that this time I say marks is equal to 30, for example, right? In this scenario, what will happen? In this scenario, uh, if we say marks is equal to 30, so now what will happen to our condition? And what was that condition? We were trying to evaluate this condition, marks greater than or equal to 33. So now this evaluates to false, and if this evaluates to false, these two statements will not execute because they only execute if this condition becomes true, right? So what will happen in that case? In that case, we will not get any response as of now because now you can see this, we are only getting this class printed because of this statement, but we don't get any masses. Then what will happen in that case? So in that case, because marks are not greater than 33, I need to print a message saying fail, right? And how that will happen? That will happen in else block. So if I press the enter again, you can see my indentation is still there. Now I need to press a backspace. So if I press backspace, you can see my indentation is now at a beginning of the line, and now I write the else, and after else I say a colon, and then I press the enter again. Now you can see there is a change in the indentation again, and I can see print here, and now I say a fail, right? So this is how a complete if else block looks like. And now we can run it, and there you see this time we are getting this message. Why? Because marks got 30, this condition became false. So my control goes to else block, and we have just one statement there saying fail. So this is how if else block works here. And now please mind it, this we never put any condition in the else, right? So we cannot have something like that. So here we put a else, and then we can write some condition here. No, else would be like this only anyways, right? So this is the one way. And now here what I was doing, I have hard coded the values. What if I want to take input from the user? What will happen if I want to take input from the user? What method should I go for? Can you please respond, guys? That if I want to take input, I want to read the marks from the user, that he or she should enter the marks, and based on that, I would be able to print a condition, right? So for that, yesterday we were talking about a method, that how you can, use a method to read the data from the user. What was that method? Lalit, Harsh, Nino, Nara, can you please respond to that? Yeah, it was input method. Yeah, Kalyan, you're right. So, that was the input method. Yeah, thank you, Bharti. Thank you, Ninu. So here what I can do, rather than having this hard-coded part, I can call this input method here. And in the input, I can, give a message, right? Enter marks, for example. And now here I do that, right? Now, if I do this, right? If I do this, what will, if I do this, what will happen? We can read the marks from the user, but we already know that input method always reads the data in str format. And what comparisons we are making, they are on number. So either it has to be integer number, or either it has to be a float number, right? And as of now, at line number 3, what we will get? We will get that it is a str. So what we need to do here, yesterday we were talking about a concept of typecasting, right? So I need to convert my marks which are in str format as of now to an integer. So how I can do that? So marks are there, and how I can typecast them? Just using int keyword, and now again assigning these, converted marks to my variable. So this is how, you finally make it. And now let's see how it goes on. So we are running the code again. Now it says enter marks, and let's say I say 50, and I enter, and then I say a pass. Okay, as of now, I can, probably comment this, so we get a cleaner output. And there you see enter marks. This time, let's say I enter 45. Oh, what's that? Oh, I did a wrong. Yes, sorry for that. Okay, I was supposed to comment out this. So, yeah, anyway, enter marks 45 is there, and then, we get pass and, congrats. Now, in general, you can see there are two statements, right? First, we are reading the data using input method, and then in the next step, we are converting them to integer. Basically, we can, club them as well. We can club them. How we can club them? So here you can see marks are equal to this method. So I can, copy this, line here. I'm just copying it and just replacing my marks here. And as of now, getting, deleting this, let me comment it out. So this is, now, two lines got into one line only. This is kind of a chaining, right? So how the chain, will work? First, it will call the input method, and whatever the, data you read from input, it will be converted to integer. It would be typecasted to integer, and finally you get the marks. So this is how, people generally do in Python code. So there's, a club lot of operations together that becomes kind of a chain. And so this time I'm, again answering pass and, congrats, and, let's run it again. And this time we want to check our else condition, is it working properly or not? So 25, and then we get the fail as well. So this is how, you can play around with if and else. Let me take one more example where we understand one more concept into that. Now, let's say I'll just, remove this and see. I want to take input from the user, and that input has to be his or her name. So I want to get the name from the user, and how I can do that. So I want to read. So, let's understand what the problem statement has to be. So I'm just, putting that statement here inside a comment block. So it's a multi-line comment that you already know. Whenever we have triple quotes, it can be used as a multi-line comment. So what I want to do, I want to first read the name. So how I can read the name? Obviously, I can use input method for that. I know that. So this is there. And then what is the case? That based on length, so I need to calculate the length of the name. And yesterday we were talking about strings, and there was a method called alien, if you remember, right? And alien can be used to check or calculate the length of a string. So based on the length, so based on name length, what I want to print to the user. So if the length is greater than or equal to 10, then I want to print a message to the user that it's a long. If the length is less than 10, but a greater than or equal to 5, in that case I want to print let's say medium. The length is medium. Else, that means if the length is 5, I want to print a short. So that's a a simple statement, a problem statement, that first we need to read input from the user. We have to read the name, and then based on the length, we have to print either long, either medium, or either short. So how we can do that? How we can print this, that whether the name is long or whether the name is medium or whether the name is short? Can we do it using a control flow mechanism? Can we do it using a kind of if and else mechanism? Can we do that? Yes, we can do that, right? So how we can do that? So let's understand that. So as a first statement, what I need to do, I need to call input method and read the name. So let's say I read the name like this. So this is my object name str1, which will hold the name, and then I'm calling the input method. And now in the input method, I say enter the name, right? So here you write enter the name, and once the user has entered the name, so we'll get that input in the str1, and obviously it would be a string because input always reads the data in str format only. And now I have to make certain decision based on the length. So how I can check that? So again, I'm going for a if condition, and now inside this I need to check what is the length. So for that I have a method. Which length? The length of my str1. And now if that is greater than or equal to 10, what would happen? I need to print a message that this is long, right? So this is long. So here you can see, that if this condition becomes true, I will print long. That's it. Now, this condition is met out. We are able to handle this. What will happen if this is the case? That it has to be lower than 10 and greater than 5, then we have to print medium if the length is like that. That means now you can see this, that we can handle this part using if, we can handle this part using else. What about this condition? There is a one more condition. If we only had two conditions, either you have to print long or short, right? Then you just handle using if and else. But if you have one more condition, in that case you need to have a one more a statement which is called elif. So now for this purpose we are using if. For this condition check we'll use elif. Elif means else if, right? And then finally we will have a else. So now after this, guys, you can see there is a indentation. So I'm pressing backspace, and there I would use elif. And inside elif, I check for this condition. So now I say len, and then I'm just saying str1. So it has to be less than 10. And because now we have two conditions. One condition is this, that I have to check this length should be less than 10, but at the same time I also make sure that this is greater than or equal to 5. So I have to have two conditions here. And now I'll do this alien, that is my second condition, and it has to be greater than or equal to 5. And then I'm pressing the colon. Okay, so let's increase the width a little more, and then I say a print, and here I can see the length is medium, right? So length is medium. And finally, I again hit backspace, and then do else, and then a colon. In else we cannot have any condition to check, and then we finally print that it is short. So guys, you can check that we are not checking for this condition whether length is less than 5. Why? Because if this is not greater than 10, or this is not less than 10 and greater than 5, then it has to be short only. So if you want to have multiple conditions like this, you can use additional aleph as well. So if you want to do something else, you can have a one more aleph here, right? You can have one more aleph here. So and then you can put a condition there. So but as of now, our problem statement is like this, that we are okay with using just one aleph. So what happened, guys? Let's see the flow. If this condition is true, only this statement will get executed. Neither aleph gets executed nor else. That's it. Now, if this condition gets failed, what is the next condition my system or my program will check? Now, this condition would be checked. If this condition is true, we are going to print medium, and then we are out of this conditional a block. We will not execute the else in that case, right? So, and if this condition also gets false, this condition also gets false. So after this, finally, this else block will execute. So this is how the flow happens. It starts evaluating the condition from top, and then going down and down and down. So this is how things happen if you are using if, aleph, and else. Now let's run it, how things are working for us. So I'm running it, and now it is saying enter the name. Let's say I enter California. So this is California, and then I say along, right? I run it again. So again, it's saying, and then for example, what can be? Let's say San Jose, if that is what is that? That is there. So it says medium, right? And I again run it. So I need to make sure that every block is perfectly working. And let's say I say LA, for example. So it says sort, right? So this is how if, aleph, and else block is working. So now guys, you need to tell me whether you are clear about it, or do we need more discussion on that? Please share your feedback. Things are okay with you so far? How's that, Lalit? Okay, Lalit saying I'm good. Bharti, Preeti, just okay, let me Preeti, let me share this here in the chat window. Maybe you can use that. So okay, Meenu, thanks. So Kalyan, now you can probably check it out. I have just posted the the code that I have written. Okay, now okay, Nara, are you there? Are you following? Nara, is it good for you, or any issues? Okay, yeah. Kalyan, is it okay with you? Okay, you said it's not working. Okay, so please check this. Okay, a couple of things here before we move to next topic. Bharti, is it okay with you? So this, this, okay, thank you. So this parenthesis we were using, right? Thank you, Preeti. Good. So this, this parenthesis, in fact, not required. If you are okay, so you can, skip this as well. It's not, mandatory to have. It's just a optional stuff, right? So if, and then you directly having the condition. So this is also okay, but just for a better visibility and the modularity, it's always a good practice to use that, but that's optional. You can skip that if you are okay with that. So this is how we are running this if, elif, and else. Now see, can you see that every time, whenever I want to check the length of a name, I have to run it multiple times. You said that I was running it for so whenever I want to take a response from the system based on the a name entered, I need to run it every time. So you can see this enter name, and this time let's say I enter a FOSC, and there you see it's medium. And again, if I want to check for the next name, I have to again run this code, and again check for that. So this is a something probably we can have a better mechanism here. Maybe we can put all of these statements under a loop, so that what will happen in that case? In that case, we can probably do one thing. In that case, these set of statements will keep on running and keep on asking the name, and then printing long, medium, or short, and then asking the name again. So kinds of a repetition will happen here if we put all of these statements under a loop. So how that will happen? So let's for example, I say Jaipur, place in India. So this is medium. So this is, we are done. So how we can put these statements under a loop so that it keeps on running, keeps on running. So for that purpose, we do one thing. We use a while loop, right? So how to write a while loop? Let's see that. So what I'm doing, I'm using a keyword which is while. Okay. And now after the while, I have to write a condition. So here I have to write the condition, guys. I can write a condition here. So, this would be the condition. And after the condition, I, have this colon. And now whatever I write here, there you can see, guys, there is a change in the indentation, right? So, now whatever I write, so I write a statement 1 here, I write a statement 2 here, write statement 3 here. So all of these statements from 1 to 3, they are part of the while loop now, right? And as long as this condition is true, right, the loop will continue to execute these statements repeatedly, right? So it will, it enters in the loop. So our flow, our control goes into the loop. If the condition is true, it will execute S1 and then S2, then followed by S3, and again is starting from S1, S2, and S3, and again is starting from S1 and S2. So this is going to continue as long as this condition is true for us. And for example, if I make this condition as true always, right? We are not checking anything. We are saying that my condition is always true. So some people say true here, and some people say 1 here, right? So I think better to use true here. But if you can use any non-zero number, right? To always keep the condition true, you can keep any non-negative number. It cannot be 0, because that is 0, it will be equivalent to false actually. And in that case, the control will never go inside a loop, so we will never see execution of S1, S2, and S3. So this is how, as of now, we want to do. We want to continue to run these statements. So now if I remove S1 and S2 and bring my actual stuff inside a while loop, so can you see, as of now, these statements are not part of the while loop. They are not part of the while loop. Why they are not part of the while loop? They are just written, after while statement. Can you guys, give me a reason that why they are not part of the while loop yet? Why they are not part of the while loop yet? Yes, Ankur, you are right. Indentation is not there, right? So Lalit, we call this as indentation, right? So they are not indented. So how we can do indentation? So we can do an indentation. So I can press a tab. So now here you can see. So using tab, we introduce two spaces actually, right? And guys, mind it, this space can be in some editor, it can be two spaces. In some editors, it can be four spaces as well, right? But as of now, in my settings, you can see, you can go to the RAPL, and can you see indent type, and then this is spaces, and it is saying two spaces only, right? Indent type and indent size. You can change it to four or something like that, right? So but as of now, we are using only two spaces to make an indentation. So now you can see now indentation is proper here. So now things are under while loop. Things are under a while loop now. Now, so now you can see what will happen. My control, goes into the while loop because condition is true. And now the first statement that we see here, it will take input from the user, and based on the conditions, it will print a long, medium, and short. So this goes on, this goes on, this goes on, right? So this would be a kind of a infinite loop that you can see. This would be a kind of a infinite loop here, right? Because there is no way to you know uh, uh, take exit from this loop. As long as we are entering the names, it will continue to run. So let's try around this. Okay, let's try around this. So in case something gets failed, I just need to have a copy of it. So I'm just I'm making a copy if something fatal happens. So just see. So we are we are running here this and let's see this time. So we enter the name here. This time, let's say we entering California. So here we are, and it says long. And now, can you see, guys? Again, it is asking, right? It is again prompting us to enter the name, because now we are in a loop which is continuously running, right? So now it says enter the name again. So send Jose, and then we have this medium. So maybe that. Then we can enter something else as well, to check. So let's say this time we rose one more city. What's that? Okay, so there, we have this. So this is going to continue with us, right? This is going to continue with us. And now we are in the loop. If I enter something else, it will respond accordingly. Now, I want to break this loop. How I can, break this loop then, So you can see still it is running. It is not giving me the prompt, right? It's still the control inside the loop is, right? And if I enter, if I directly, hit the enter button without, giving any name. So can you see? It is just giving a wrong short. Why? Because if I'm not giving any a name, it is considering that name as a blank string. A blank string means the length is 0, and in that case, it is coming to this block else, and it's printing a short. Although I did not enter any name, but it is considered as a blank string in that case, right? Because you are directly pressing the enter button. And this condition will get failed if the length is 0. This condition also get failed if the length is 0. And finally, we are here into the else block. So how can we stop this execution as of now? Yes, we stop this execution as of now, guys. Can you see? this is run now, and once you are in run mode, then you have a stop here, right? So I just press that stop button. Oh, so here we are. Now, uh, I want to do one thing now. I want to, rather than pressing this stop button here, I want to come out of this loop programmatically, right? I want to come out of this loop that whenever, user is not giving any name and directly, hitting the enter button, I should come out of this loop. Can you listen to this, guys, what I'm saying? If I directly press the enter button without putting any text, that means in that case, length of the a string would be 0. It should come out of the loop. It should come out of the loop. So how I can come out of the loop programmatically? For that, I need to I need to put a condition that will help me to come out of the loop. And how we can do that? So guys, here in the while loop, I'll see this. Here in the while loop, right? Uh, we can, see there. The first statement is, about taking the input from the user, and here only I can put a condition. Here only I can put a condition that if a string is blank, there is no text into the string, then I should break out of this loop. Break means I should terminate the execution of this loop. So how we can do that? So I need to go for a if condition. And now, what I say, I'm using a condition, I will explain that, not str1. So guys, listen very carefully. If your string has some text, what I say, if your string has some text, this condition will always be false. This condition will only be true only if str1 is blank or str1 has no text or no data, right? So let me run this. See this, if not str1, and then I say that I need to break out of this loop. So I'm using a keyword that is called as break. What happens with the break? If you use this keyword inside any loop, whether it's a while loop or whether it's a for loop that we are yet to discuss, it will terminate the loop execution. So as soon as we hit the break, we terminate the loop. But when the break will happen, the break will only happen if this condition becomes true. And when this condition will become true, we have to check for this. So let's understand this part now. See guys, for explanation purpose, I'm coming to the command prompt, and let's say I say str1 is equal to fosk. This is my str. And now I want to check that what would be the output if I say not str1. That means this is a condition. So what would be the output of this condition? So not is a keyword in Python. It says false. I can take something else as well. str1 is equal to, let's say, ca, right? So here, if I say not str1, again, it is giving me a false. Okay, what will happen if I say str1 is equal to blank string? So how I denote a blank string? Using this way. So here you can see there are two double quotes, but nothing written in between. Even a space is not there, right? Even white space is not there. So here, the length of this str1 would be obviously 0. And now if I say not str1, what will happen in that case? This time it is giving me a true, right? So the true will only happen, right, if there is no text, no data in str1. And in that case, we will terminate the loop execution. And maybe taking a break from this, maybe, terminating the loop execution, maybe I can give a message, right? I can give a message, right? Leaving the loop or terminating the loop. So rather than leaving, better to say terminating the loop, right? Or exiting from the loop, right? So exiting the loop. So Preeti has a question. Preeti saying, Preeti saying, what will happen if str has a space? So that is very simple. Str space is also a letter, also a character. So if I say Preeti str1 is equal to some space, see this, right? So this is how you are talking about. And now it will give a false again, right? Because this time it has a length, right? So it is not a blank string. Preeti, mind it, right? It's not a blank string, right? It's a valid one, and it's not blank. The length would be one, a one in that case. You can see this str1 length, right? So that's there. So if we run this loop now, right? Yeah, it cannot be assignment. It has to be, equal to. So it has to be like this, Dalit. It has to be like this. So see, uh, let's run this loop now, and here we go. Enter the name, and this time let's say we are saying LA. Short, enter the name, we are saying CA start, we are saying FOSS. So it's working for us. And now I'm hitting the enter button, right, without writing anything. And then hitting the enter button, and can you see we get a message exiting the loop. Why this time? Because this time this got true, and as soon as it got true, we got into this block, and inside this block we had a break, and the break will terminate the loop execution. Break will terminate the loop execution, and that's it. Terminating the loop execution means we'll skip everything. We will never go to the while loop again, and my flow will start from here. So whatever you write here, it will, start executing that. So guys, please let me know if things are clear so far with you, that how we were clubbing. So now what I did, I clubbed the conditional statements with a looping, a philosophy, that how you can, use a while loop. And inside the while loop, we also understood the concept that how you can, have a break, how you can terminate that loop execution. And what was the condition behind, terminating the loop execution? The condition was that if the str1 is blank, there is no data into it, we should break, right? And that was the kind of a Pythonic way, right? So that was kind of a Pythonic way to check whether the string has, some data or not. So please, confirm me, guys. Are you okay so far? Or is it okay with you? Yeah, Nara, you can do that. And but Nara, the condition is you have to modify your condition a little bit. It is to be like this. It is to be like this, right? So Kalyan, is it okay with you? Minu, MK, Satur, if I'm okay, if I'm good in pronouncing your name. Okay. Harsh, things good? Yeah, okay, good. Ankur, okay there with you? Yeah, good. Okay, now let's move to something new now. I'll, remove this part now. Okay. See, yesterday I gave you a brief idea about lists, if you remember. And lists are similar to arrays in C programming and other programming languages, where you can hold multiple items. And if you remember, yesterday I was talking about this kind of a list where I declared a list. And the declaration of the list happens like this way. We have the name of the object, and then equal to, and then we have those square bracket, and in square brackets you can have, items. And I took example like, the first item was Cali, other one was, a Derby, right? Was there, and then mm, that Hana was there, right? I think that was the name. So these are the three names. Actually, my daughter sees a series called Just Add Magic, I think. So there are three, friends in that series: Kelly, Darwin, Hannah. So this is list one. Now I told you that how you can use, a split method to, convert your string into a list. Do you remember that? And if you have some data in the list, how you can, a huge join method, and again, creating the string. So a split is for converting your string data to an list format. So from, str to list, that was there, right? And if you want a list to be in str format, then you will have to join, it. So you will have to use join method. That was there. So that's it. So that was there. Now let me take another example. So this time I'm declaring a object list one, which has, let's say, a couple of city names from California, right? So I just Googled, there are a couple of cities in LA. So Los Angeles is there, right? So this is one city in CA. Then it is saying some, I don't know, I'm just writing it, Mill Valley. So that's it. And then let's say a third more city, need to have a little space for me. So I'm just, putting that here. And let's say Palo, okay, Palo or Palo, maybe. So these are the three cities here, right? And now they are part of the list, right? They are part of the list. And I can, print the type of this object. So I can use a type method, and that you can see, I'm just, there you can see this is list, right? Now what I want to do. I want to print these city names one by one. One name in one line, and then next name in the next line, and the next name in the next line. And how I can do that? For that purpose, I can make use of a looping. How I can do that? Using a loop. So for that purpose, I'm writing a for loop. So please, focus on the screen what I say. For each city name, right? For each city name in list one. So mind it, I'm saying each, but I'm not writing each, right? So for each city name in list one, right? And then we have a colon, and then we have a change in the indentation, and then I have a print statement, and then I use a variable city name here. So can you see? For each city name in list one, print city name, right? And if we run it, what is the response? See this, can you see? We got three names, one line at a time. And how it is working, let's understand this part. So guys, this is a for each loop in Python. And basically what is happening, in the first iteration of this loop, the city name, which is a placeholder for us as of now, right? The city name is equal to Los Angeles in the first iteration. So directly city name is, referring to Los Angeles. In the second iteration, city name is equal to second item, which is Mill Valley. And the third iteration, this is city name is equal to Palo Alto. That's there, right? So you can, see and why, it is considering, because you are saying in the for loop that you have to pick this data from where, in list one, right? So I'm putting that information here in the for loop from where it has to fetch those items. It has to fetch those items from where? From the list one, right? So in the first iteration, this is equal to first item in the list. In the second iteration, this is equal to second item in the list. In the third iteration, this is equal to a third item in the list. So, and you can have any, a name here. It's never, you can just say a name, you can have the name which you like, you can use that here. So let's say name. If that is the case, I have to use the name here as well, right? So that is also fine. That's also, will have the same output. If you are okay to use something else, let's say I use X, okay? So X is also fine. So, that is up to you what name you give here. Basically, this X or whatever the name you put here is known as iterator. What we call it, guys? We call it as iterator. So this is iterator. So how it is working, how the for loop is working, for each loop is working. In the first iteration, X is equal to Los Angeles. In the second iteration, X is equal to Mill Valley. In the third iteration, X is equal to Palo Alto. So this is how a loop works in Python, right? So MK Satur, is it clear now to you? Is it clear? So let me take, let me take one more thing. Let me take one more thing. So should I take one more example, Harsh, or things are clear with you? Meenu, Ankur, Bharti, Kalyan, Nara. Should I take one more example? Okay, I'll take one more. Let's say we have a list, and this time we have couple of numbers into this. So I have 10, I have 20, I have 30, I have 40. So a couple of values are there. And now I want to print these values. I will call these items. So the first item is 10, second item is 20, 30, 40, and so. So now I want to print these values 10, 20, 30, one by one, right? So how I can do that? Using a for a loop. So for each number in list one, right? Sorry for that. For each number in list one, and then using colon, and then there is a change in the indentation, and then I'm printing this value, this placeholder, this iterator number. So now what will happen? It is saying that for each number. Now guys, generally what happens in most of the programming languages like C programming or Java or C++, a for is used in such a way that this variable works as an index. You can connect that way, but here it is not working as an index. It is directly having that value, right? It is directly having that value. If it was supposed to work like an index, then we should have written this way, that the data and then passing this as index. But this is not the case, right? I'm directly printing that number here. So this is there. Now in the first iteration, number is 10, and the second iteration, number is 20, and the third iteration, number is 30, and so on. So this is how you have this. And can you see? We get the output 10, 20, 30, 40. Harsh, is it okay now? Is it okay? Yeah, okay. Now, let's do, one or two things. See, I'm again back to the same example that list one has some, a couple of city names from California. And using for loop, we'll understand a couple of more concepts. So let's see that. And now you need to tell me what would be the output, because now you know the concept well. That for each name in list one, right? I print name. That is fine. It will print the city names. No big deal. We understand that now. But now I want to introduce one more statement here. And what the statement is, I'm checking if, and then I have to put a condition. If name is equal to, if name is equal to, let's say, a mill value, right? If name is equal to mill value, then I have a column, right? I have a column, and then I'm saying break. Okay, this is my for each loop, but inside that loop I have used a break statement, but that break statement will only execute if this condition becomes, a true for us. So guys, can you please let me know, if that is the case, what would be the output on the console? What will be the output on the console? So Kalyan saying Los Angeles, Preeti saying Los Angeles only. Okay. Bharti also saying Los Angeles. Okay, so let me, Nankura also saying same. So MK saying it will print Los Angeles in Mill Valley. Okay, let's see that. Okay, let's see that what happens. So first of all, now we understand what the break does. Break basically terminates your loop execution, right? So now let's understand this part. See the output first, and then we'll understand what is working. So can you see we only got one output, Los Angeles. Why we got one output only? Why not other city names? The reason, we have to see. So let's follow it one by one, and then we'll understand why it happened. So loop is started. In the first iteration, the name is equal to Los Angeles. So name has value Los Angeles, and now we are making a comparison that is it equal to Mill Valley? No, it is not equal to Mill Valley, right? Because name is holding Los Angeles as of now. So this condition will become false. If this condition is false, the break will not happen, right? And it will directly print the name, and that's why we got the Los Angeles. In the second iteration, you can see name will have Mill Valley, right? In the second iteration, name will have the Mill Valley. And this time, name is also equal to Mill Valley, and we are making a comparison with the Mill Valley only. That means this condition will become true. And if this condition becomes true, we get a break, because break only execute if this condition is true. And this time the condition is true. And the condition is true, so break will happen. As soon as we hit the break, it terminates the loop execution, right? So here it terminates the loop. So the loop got terminated. We only got one name in the output, that was Los Angeles. Even it will not execute this statement because break has happened and we are out of the loop. MK, is that clear to you now? So this is how a break is working in the, so the philosophy is simple. As soon as you hit the break, just, exit from the loop. That's it, right? That's it. Execute from the loop. So this is there. Now, let's see one more example. Let's see one more example. So break is clear to us now. And now I introduce one more concept in the looping. And that concept is like this, where we use a one more keyword that is called continue, right? So how to do that? See this. I use the same block and copy it, and instead of break this time, right? And I will put this code inside a comment. So here we go. Okay. So this is now instead of a break, I say continue, right? Continue. So here, so the only change from this code block to this code block is that I'm using continue rather than break here. And see, if name in list one, for each name in list one, if name is equal to Mill Valley continue, right? What will happen in this case? What will happen in this case? So let's see the output first, and then we'll understand more about what is happening here. See here, I'm just pressing the run again, and this time I'm getting Los Angeles as the output. Can you see this? This time I'm getting the Los Angeles, and I'm also getting the output of Palo Alto, right? What happened to Mill Valley? Why we did not get the output? So guys, mind it. Two things around the continue. First thing is this, that continue will never break the execution. Continue is not for terminating the loop execution. If you want to terminate the loop execution, use break. That's it, first of all. Then what happens in the continue? The continue is like this, that if you hit the continue, right? If you hit the continue somehow, the continue will only execute if this condition becomes true in this case. So if you hit the continue, it will skip rest of the statements. It will skip. It will not execute rest of the statements which fall after the continue, and it will start the execution from the beginning, from the first statement. So only the thing that will happen with the continue is that we are still in the loop. We are not leaving the loop. The loop is still going to continue, right? The only thing that happens is that in that scenario, we will skip rest of the statements, and that too, a single time only. So what happens in this case, that we are running a loop for each name in the list one. So this first iteration, name is equal to Los Angeles. The name is Los Angeles. We are equating it with Mill Valley. We are comparing it with Mill Valley. So obviously this condition is false. The condition is false. We will not see the continue. It will not happen. It will not execute. We directly see the print statement here. And that's why we see the output Los Angeles. And the second iteration, guys, what happens? Name is equal to Mill Valley. If that is the case, this condition will become true. The condition will become true, so we will hit the continue. If we hit the continue, we will skip rest of the statement, so we will skip this print statement. And that's why we don't see the Mill Valley in the output, because this time it got skipped. This time we are not executing the print statement. Why? Because this time we encountered continue. And we still, we are still in the loop. And this time we are into third iteration. Our second iteration got completed, and in the second iteration we skipped this statement. In the third iteration, name would be equal to Palo Alto, and this condition will be false, right? And if this condition is false, we will not see the continue, and again we will be here at the print name, and this time name is equal to Palo Alto, and we see the next output. So this is the case, guys. So do you understand the concept, that why the Mill Valley was not in the output, and the reason was, the continue was the reason for it, because continue became, true. That was the condition. So guys, did you get it? That how the continue was working? Continue does not mean end of the loop. Continue means only skipping, statements which fall, or which are after the continue. Do you get it now, guys? Please confirm. So Nara is saying yes. Kalyan is saying yes. Bharati saying yes. Meenu saying yes. Preeti saying yes. Namke saying yes. Okay. Harsh, what about you? Lalit, what about you? Please confirm. So Harsh is saying, sir, so if you do not write print after continue, you will get the same result. So, okay, let me change one thing, Harsh. That will, so rather than having print here, okay, so rather than having print here, what will happen if I, take this print here? I think that will, explain the concept of what you are, trying to understand. What will happen in the case? What would be the output if we move this print statement before the continue? Actually what will happen in that case? So now in this case, right, in the first iteration, you print the name. So LA would be printed. In the second iteration, name is Mill Valley. You directly printing the, a Mill Valley, and then you are checking if Mill Valley is equal to a Mill Valley. Yes, continue. Even though we get continue in the second iteration, because this time name is equal to Mill Valley only, so this condition will become true and we'll hit the continue. But after this, there is no statement, right? So it will not skip anything, and it will start from the first statement itself. So this time, there is hardly any use of continue, and we will see all of the outputs in the all of the city names in the output. Was that your question, Hers, or it was something else? Okay, fine. So that is there, and so now I think we should be okay. So now if I close for today, I need to just have one more concept that I can discuss with you. There is a method in Python which is called as range, right? So range is a method, inbuilt method in Python that can be used to generate, right? That can be used to generate a list of numbers. That can be used to generate a list of numbers. So range, if you're calling the range method, it says from where to start. Okay, so I say, let's start from 1, and then it says where to end. So then I say end, right? And as of now, I can, put everything in the comment, or rather than, I can just delete it. So we are just here with the range. So can you see? We are range. And I'm just saying print this range. So I'm just saying print range. Just a short discussion, and then we are done for today. So here you see. Okay, so it is giving me the range. But I was supposed to get a list actually, right? So it is giving me a direct object range. So what I can do as of now, I can typecast it. So I can just typecast it to a list. So here we are doing typecasting. Here we do that, right? Is that okay? Okay, so we have this. It's too much of, okay, that is fine now. So here we run it. So what is that? Something wrong here? Okay, let's remove it. So this is a typecasting, and inside this range, I do this starting from 1 and then 10. Okay, so here, okay, so yeah, got it. Additional. So here we see the output. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9? So it is going up to 9 only. That means this is excluded, but this is included. So start number is included, end number is excluded. So can you see, guys, this got me a list actually, right? And if you don't specify the start, it will by default start from 0. Let me check if it is starting from 0. Yeah, it's starting from 0, right? By default, it starts from a 0. That is there, right? So we can use range method if you want to create a list of numbers, right? If you want to create a list of numbers in this. Okay, couple of variations to this now. Let's say I want to generate numbers from 1 to 2, and then specifying uh, a step as well. So let's say I specify step as 2. So what will happen in this case? So I'm starting from 1, going up to 10, and the stepping is 2. What will happen in that case? Can you see, guys? In this case, we are only printing the alternate numbers, starting from 1, then skipping 2, then printing 3, then skipping 4, then printing 5, and so on, right? So basically, this is a very similar case what we were talking about yesterday in case of string slicing, string indexing, right? The first number indicates the starting index, the second number indicates the end, and the third number indicates the stopping, right? So that is there. And if I specify just one here, so if I just say one here, it will count everything from 1 to 9, right? It will count everything from 1 to 9. What happens if I do something like that, that I start from 10? So I start from 10, and let's say going up to 1, and this time I'm going in the reverse direction, so this time I say -1. So here is starting from then 10, and then decrementing, and then decrementing, and so on. So we can generate a negative, and we can generate a reverse ordered list as well, right? So here you see. Can we make use of this concept in the for loop? Yes, I can make use of this as a for loop. I can say for each number in, because anyway this will give me a list, right? And then a colon, and then saying print number, right? Print number. And here you see this is we do so one number at a time, right? So this is one number at a time. So this is how you do it. So so this is this is what we have for today. So if we quickly summarize what we do, what we did today, we started with the concept of understanding the control flow, that how you can make use of if and else, right? And then understanding how you can use else, elif as well, and then using those concepts, we moved on to a concept of looping, right? And inside the loop philosophy, we understood about the while loop and a for loop, and to handle the looping mechanism in a better way, we had two keywords there: continue and break. Break actually terminates the loop, and continue had a different behavior, and I showed that to you. So that is there. And now sometimes, guys, what happens if you are inside a loop, and you don't know what you want to write? Still, your mind is not clear, but you just want to put a placeholder. So sometimes what you do, you say a pass. So pass is just a statement, right? Is pass just a statement? It's kind of a placeholder only. It will it will not do anything as such, but it's just saying that I don't want to do anything as of now, just pass from here. That's it. Although the condition is true, although execution is coming here, although the control is coming there, but it sees the pass statement, and then it goes. A pass means don't do anything, just continue. Don't do anything, just go ahead. So this is kind of a way sometimes people use that, right? So and whenever you have a pass statement, it indicates 0 CPU cycle. It will not it will there is no execution at the CPU side if you see the pass statement in the Python. So that's there. So guys, that's it from my side. If you have any questions and doubts, please share with me using chat window. I will try to answer those, and happy to answer those questions. So please let me know if you have any doubts, any queries regarding today's session. We are open to question answers now. Lalit, let's say, okay, do one thing. If you're not very clear about, okay, Dr. Muthu, thanks. I hope you liked it. So this, what I say, let me explain the pass through a different way, right? Let me, do you remember we were using that mechanism of printing a string length, right? Based on the length, we were printing medium, short, and long. If you remember that, what was that kind of concept? That we were printing, we were just taking a name from the user, right? Enter the name. So that was there. And now based on that, what we are, I think I had a copy of that. Okay, it was not name. It was str1. So I think I had a copy of that. Let me check with that. Yes, I kept a copy of it. So this is there with me, Lalit. So here it is. I think that was this, right? Long, medium, and short. Oh, I need to, correct the indentation part. So that's it. So it was there. A lot of changes I have to make. Okay, here as well, and here as well, and here as well. So I think now things will work, right? So see. So enter the name, right? And then you say, for example, Fosk, and then you're printing medium. Okay, so this was a simple requirement, see, this was a simple requirement from a client that you need to take input from the user, and based on the length, you need to uh, uh, print a message to the user. But let's say, a client has given you these conditions, but client is not very much, clear that what message, we need to give to the user if this condition becomes true. Lalit, right? Client has given you the condition, but he has not specified what exact message you need to print to the user. But you have written the code and you don't know what you want to do. So what you can do in the beginning, you can write your code block is ready, but the specifications are not yet with you what you want to do in this block. You can just say as of now, okay, I'm okay with that, right? So this is just a placeholder, right? But as of now, whenever you get the requirements, you can just replace this pass with the a statement what you want to hear, right? So I think now it should help you to understand what the pass is doing here, right? So if I run it, and if I say Fosk, what will happen in that case? You don't get any output here, right? Although condition was true, right? Although condition is true, right? But because we put pass here, it shows no response on the display. Is that clear now? Okay, Lalit, thank you. So that's there. Any other question? Any other queries? Please let me know. Nara, good with you? Meenu, Lalit, Kalyan. Okay. Okay, thank you, Kalyan. Bharti, any questions? Okay, thanks. Ankur, Preeti. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ankur. So guys, see you tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, same time. And I hope people are liking the sessions, right? So and the approach that we are taking, I think it is working good with you. If you have any suggestions for related to format or conduct of the session, right? Yes, Meenu, we have the assignment for today. So you can look at the assignment in going to the drive. Can you see? We have this drive. So drive link is already shared with you. If you don't have that, I can again share with that. I think Dr. Muthu is probably the new candidate. So this is the drive link where every training material, is available there. Okay, Meenu. So Minu Singh, I have that. Okay, I'm sharing that again. So this is there, and now you can see that was the day one, and the solution to the day one are in this folder. Today we are at day two, so we need to go inside day two. And if day two is not visible to you, just refresh your drive, guys. And there you see day two assignment, right? So here we have day two assignment. Um, and now you have a couple of assignments for you. I think there are two. So this is the one assignment where what you need to do, you have a variable like this, right? A salary is equal to, and now you can see it's under single quote. That means it's a string which has some dollar sign here and comma in between. What you need to do, you need to clean this salary. So you need to remove this dollar, you need to remove this comma, and output should only be 876001, and that too in number. As of now, this is a string, right? So you will have to do a little bit of a string handling here, a little bit of data processing you have to do. Some hints are given, right? How you can use slicing or a split or join concepts, and how you can use the concept of typecasting, and then you can solve this problem. And here we have again okay. Lalit is saying, sir, Lalit is saying, I would love to have this salary. Okay, Lalit, I think everybody would love to have this, not even you. The next assignment is like based on the age. You need to print whether he or she is an infant or child or adult or senior citizen. So it's kind of a if alif assignment. And then we have a popular code challenge which is called as fizzwas. Fizzwas is a popular assignment in every programming language based on the condition. You have to print something. So um, from 1 to 50 you have to consider every number, right? And if that number is a multiple of 3, you just need to print fizz, right, instead of that number, right? You don't have to print that number directly. If that number is a multiple of 3, then you have to print fizz. If that number is a multiple of 5, you have to print buzz. And if that number is multiple of both 3 and 5 as well, then you have to print fizz buzz, right? A very interesting code challenge. So you have to print. So 1 is neither a multiple of 3, neither multiple of 5, and that's why we are directly printing the number 1. And with the same case with the 2, 3 was a multiple of 3, so we are printing a fizz here. 5 was the multiple of buzz, right? So we are printing buzz here. And this number 15 is a multiple of 3 as well, and a multiple of 5 as well, and that's why you're printing fizzbuzz here, right? So that should be the output. So 3 assignments for today, and I think they are easy, but good to have a practice. Good to have a practice, because things may look very easy while watching the video, or while watching other guy doing something on the screen. Things look quite easy, but when we start our own, then you will find you will scratch your head, okay, how to do that and that. So I think it's always to have a good practice. And they're just starting, right? They are just basics, not a big deal into that. But day-wise, we'll keep on increasing a complexity of the people, right? Yeah, Lalit, you're right. These assignments remind you engineering days in engineering days C classes. Yeah, you're right. But every day we'll add a delta, to the complexity. So day-wise, there would be, increasing complexity of the assignments. So here we go. Any other thing from your side? Otherwise, we can close it for today. Okay, thank you, Lalit. Yeah, Kalyan, thank you. Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Yeah, Nara, have a nice day. Thank you. Yeah, Preeti, thank you. So now I'm